So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is some natural phenomena. So in this chapter basically we are going to study about different types of natural calamities and what are their effects, okay, what precautions we should take in order to protect ourselves from these natural calamities and all these things. So let's get started. Yes, so let's first move on to the introduction. So in class 7 you read about windstorms and cyclones. I think you remember you had a chapter on windstorms and cyclones. There you read in detail about thunderstorms, you had read about cyclones, then you also have read that how cyclones occur, right? And many such things. You had also read about tornadoes, if you remember. So this chapter you will not study about windstorms and cyclones, but you are going to study about the natural calamities, okay? You learned that cyclones can cause a lot of damage to human life and property. You also learned that we can protect ourselves from this destructive phenomena to some extent. Yes or no? So cyclones, if you remember, you had that, in the chapter you read about Orissa, that Orissa is a place where cyclones have struck many times, and what kind of damage, what kind of destruction cyclones can cause. And you can also protect yourselves from the destruction to some extent. That also we had studied. So in this chapter we shall discuss two other destructive natural phenomena. These are lightning and earthquakes. Okay. So basically we are going to study about earthquakes, we are going to study about lightning in this chapter, which you did not study last year. Last year you studied about thunderstorms. Okay. We shall also discuss what steps we can take to minimize destruction caused by these phenomena. So we are also going to study that how can we minimize the destruction that is caused by these phenomena. Okay. So let's begin with lightning. You must have seen sparks on an electric pole when wires become loose. This phenomena is quite common when a wind is blowing and shaking the wires. So sometimes, like if you are outside your homes and there is lightning and thunderstorm, then you might have seen some kind of when the weather actually becomes worse and you know that now there is a huge rainfall or heavy rainfall coming. So during that time you will see that when the wires outside, okay, you have the telephone wires, you have the television wires. So when those wires actually they strike against each other, you must have seen sparks coming out. Okay. You might also have seen sparks when a plug is loose in its socket. Sometimes inside your house also. Suppose you want to plug a device and you see that the plug is little loose, then also you can see some sparks coming out. Okay. Lightning is also an electric spark but on a huge scale. So lightning is what? Lightning is nothing but spark. Okay, it is also a spark, but that spark is different from the spark that you have studied just now. Whatever you have studied just now, I think you remember, it is called short circuit. Okay, short circuit you remember, no? Last year you studied when two wires which do not have the insulated cover, when they rub against each other, you will see sparks coming out. That is called short circuit, which you had already studied. Okay, so lightning is different from short circuit. In ancient times, people did not understand the cause of these sparks. They were therefore afraid of lightning and thought that the wrath of gods was visiting them. So before, people, like suppose you have, you will have lightning now, and then suppose there is thunderstorm and you have heavy rainfall. People could not understand. Early men, they could not understand the fact. Okay. So what they thought that the gods were angry. Okay. Wrath of the gods means anger of the gods. Okay. So gods were angry due to some reason, and that is why these kind of things are happening. Okay. Now, of course, we understand that lightning is caused by accumulation of charges in the clouds. So nowadays we don't think that gods are angry. That is why lightning has come or thunderstorm has come. So lightning and thunderstorm, this is nothing but some electric particles. Okay, electric charges that have accumulated. So when these charges they get accumulated, then there is lightning when they rub against each other. So you will study that phenomena later. Okay. Okay, so the sparks that the Greeks knew about. The ancient Greeks knew as early as 600 BC that when ember is a kind of resin means you know na, gum, okay, it's a kind of resin, was rubbed with fur, it attracted light objects such as hair. Okay, so Amber was a kind of a resin. Resin means gum. So when that was rubbed with fur, you know, no, furry cloth, okay, or simply fur, then that amber, it acquired some charge and it could attract small pieces of paper. Okay, same thing. Now you also know that suppose you have a plastic scale or a comb, I think you know this, and you rub it against your dry hair. Okay, and you bring that plastic comb or the plastic scale near some pieces of paper, you will find that those pieces of paper get attracted. Okay, so why? That is called static charges, because we think that because our hair is dry and we are rubbing, due to friction, some kind of charges are accumulated in the materials, in that plastic comb or the plastic scale, and those temporarily they get a charge, that is temporary charge. Okay, so that is called static electricity. So temporarily they get charged, and those, because of the charge, they attract small pieces of paper. Okay, you might have seen that when you take off woolen or polyester clothes, your hair stands on the ends. Okay, so you will find that when you take off your woolen sweater, you will find the small hair that you have in your hands and feet, they will stand. Okay, and some kind of sound also will come out. So that sound that comes out is nothing but the charges, the charged particles. Okay, so if you take off these clothes in the dark, you can even see a spark and hear crackling sound. So just try that, take off your sweater in the dark and you just try to see. Sometimes you may even see some sparks. Okay, and crackling sound, I think you must have heard of it, isn't it? So in 1752, Benjamin Franklin, an American scientist, showed that lightning and the spark from your clothes are essentially the same phenomena. However, this realization took 2000 years. Okay. So Benjamin Franklin was an American scientist. He told that the charges that we see on our clothes and the lightning, the phenomena is the same. Both are electrical charged particles. Okay, lightning is also charged particles. The charges that you see in your clothes or on your plastic comb or scale, those are also charged particles. So those actually, it is the same phenomena. But 2000 years it took, for realization of this fact. Okay, so we'll continue with the explanation in the next slides. Thank you.